Okay, during this time, while we wait for everyone to join the opening of the Accra chapter, feel free to paste your LinkedIns in the chat if you want to do some networking with other peers in the region. We have here with us today 2 chapter leaders, both for Accra and from Nairobi. So I'm sure we have people not only from Ghana in the session. So if you just leave your LinkedIns, then you can do some networking with other peers and other people interested in RPA too. I think we can start now. This is the official meeting that marks the official opening of the Accra chapter in Ghana, and we're very happy to have launched this chapter today. I am your host for today. I'm Christina. I'm the Regional Community Manager for EMEA at UiPath. And your other host is Akpeko Ziga, who is RPA and Automation Specialist at Vodafone Ghana Limited. We are very happy today to launch this chapter and increase our presence on the continent. As you can see, this is the 4th chapter we open in Africa. So we have Accra, Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg now. We are so happy for this addition. I will paste now the link to the chapter in chat, so every one of you can join this chapter. And what will happen when you join this chapter is that you will remain updated to any upcoming events in this chapter. I will also paste the link for Nairobi. And you can remain connected to the events in the region concerning RPA. I think my colleagues will share more links to you onwards as we go through the session regarding the UiPath local community and even more. This is our extended EMEA family, and we're very glad to welcome the Accra chapter in it. As you can see, we have a very broad family, and Accra is our newest member. So congratulations, Akpeko, and everyone who is here with us today. We're very happy for this edition. Now I will tell you a bit about the UiPath community just to present you our ecosystem. So you can go to communityuipath.com after this session if you want to explore more on our community ecosystem and everything that UiPath has to offer within the region. And here on our website, which is a separate website from the UiPath site, actually we have a separate ecosystem from the UiPath ecosystem because we deal directly with the developer community in all our countries, and we manage the relationships with them, and we try to grow our community and to serve them as best we can. In the events section, you will find all our upcoming events here. So you will see the events worldwide that have to do with UiPath and everything we organize through our community and for our community. Most of them are in English. You will find the events from global chapters here, but also all our events from local chapters as well. Then of course we have Academy, who is your main place to go if you want to start learning RPA. And here you can either see the entire course offering we have, and you can start here by your level, or you can learn by role, depending on what RPA role you are targeting. So you can also go to forum and blog to learn more about RPA and to get support from the entire community on our forum. Just make sure after this session you check out community.uipath.com and just see everything we have to offer there, and find your own information and content, and you can even start contributing. You have here all the ways in which you can contribute to the UiPath community. Now I'm going to hand over the screen sharing to Akpeko to start the session today. I just want to say I'm very, very glad to welcome Accra in our community, and I know this will go very well. So congratulations, Akpeko, and congratulations to all of you today.
Thank you very much, Christina, for your kind words.
Thank you. And thank all the other speakers for joining you today. So you can start sharing your screen now. Yeah.
All right. Please let me know if my screen is visible.
It is. It's perfect.
All right. Once again, thank you so much for opening the UiPath Accra chapter for us. We are very happy about it, and we look forward to the wonderful things that UiPath has brought to many organizations and many countries and many regions to be replicated right here in Ghana. Talking about Ghana, our first speaker, Mr. Donna Akude. I'm very glad today to introduce her as a speaker. Some few years ago, I personally have not heard of RPA, talk about UiPath, and she came with this positive aggression on automations and systems, process re-engineering. And she practically what I want to say is that she introduced me to RPA and UiPath for that matter. And since then, it has served me so much, so well in many angles. It has taken me to places that hitherto I would never imagined. And maybe somewhere along the line, I will share my success stories with you on how my career is being positively impacted with the introduction of RPA stroke UiPath into the business. The second speaker is Calvin. Calvin Washira, the RPA team lead from Ghana, from Safaricom. Calvin has been my hero or my go-to person in my early days. Anytime I have some issue, I have to run to Calvin. Calvin, how do you do this? Sensibly, Kenya has already started RPA. And ever since I got introduced to Calvin, my learning journey has been very smooth. I'm glad to introduce to you my hero in learning RPA today. And Jonathan, I just got connected to Jonathan, but it feels as if we've known each other for a very long time. He's the community manager for Nairobi, Kenya, with such passion and aggression. I'm glad to have you, Jonathan, today address us. Okay. On the agenda today is a brief about UiPath, which Christina has already done. I will be introducing you to the basics of RPA, and my speakers will take it over and take us through the benefits and the techniques of identifying RPA or automation, email automation potentials or automation techniques within an organization. We'll also be talking about some few use cases and the way forward in terms of career progression.
Mm-hmm. We can also go briefly through this slide if you want, through the UiPath history slide.
Yes, please, Christina, take it up, please.
I don't know all the details on the product since I joined UiPath earlier this year as a regional community manager. But I can tell you that, of course, UiPath was founded around 2005, and it started out from Bucharest, Romania, where I am actually based. And it was a very small company at that time. It started up with a few people. We have some pictures on our website which show this incredible growth that UiPath had from this little startup in early days to the company that it is now. And of course, you know that we were listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So this was marked this let's say, this peak of growth for us. They started with UI automation, of course, and moved the HQ to New York City around 2017. And then the company started structuring its product release and its growth based on a vision, which we enhanced actually along with our growth. So the vision that our company set is this vision with a robot for every person, which actually means it was a vision in the beginning of hyper automation. And then as we moved along through these years and product releases, as you see here, there were many product releases. We moved to end-to-end automation at the end of this growth. What we are most proud of regarding these milestones, which you see here, is of course the most varied product release and features. So we went into AI computer vision, AI center, then releasing products that have to do with process mining, human in the loop, test suite, and of course this year we also launched apps, which is a very big change for us. What we are most proud is the disruption and the high accelerated growth of the company. We are one of the fastest growing company in history. And then we have also been for the last year a leader in RPA in Gartner Magic Quadrant. So we are the leader in the industry in RPA. We do not take this for granted. Our team and our community works hard to make all of this happen, and everything you see here is just a piling up on the success that our community also has with the incredible developers we have in our community by constantly giving product feedback and keeping all the developers in the loop and just listening carefully to what customers and developers have to say. So this is always considered when we develop our products and we enhance our delivery capacity. So now, of course, now we are the leader in the RPA industry, and also we are a public shared company. We are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, but we have still kept our position as a leader in the Magic Quadrant in Gartner report. And our mission currently, this is you can see how our vision changed. Our mission is to deliver the fully automated enterprise and to deliver end-to-end automation. You will see that all of this is built up on the fact that RPA, UiPath RPA is one of the easiest tools to use in the industry. This is part of our success, that we are very user-friendly and we are constantly keep an eye on how our software is used. And also we have Studio X, which is a tool completely made for non-technical background persons, which is a tool for citizen developers. So UiPath also has a tool for non-developers to learn how to automate. So everyone is welcome to UiPath RPA, and we hope that all of you will be at least curious to see a bit of our products and a bit of what RPA means for the entire industry segments. Thank you. Pekko.
Thank you very much, Christina, for that brief introduction. I mean, that extensive introduction. So right away, what is RPA? The full name is Robotic Process Automation. What is it? I guess that it's a technology that enables software programs to behave like human beings through interaction with computer applications to accomplish the day-to-day tasks. Some of the tasks are typing, clicking, and reading the computer's screen or the vision, whatever is presented on the screen. Usually these are performed by human beings. Typing in, filling a form, clicking, dragging, or reading whatever is currently present on the screen. That is what an RPA technology basically entails. But let's try to break it down. Anyone that tries to configure a computer software, which in this case we are calling a robot or a bot, to emulate and integrate actions of human interacting within a digital system to execute business processes, you can say you are employing an RPA approach. So RPA robots utilize the user interface to capture data and manipulate applications, just like how a human being would do. They interpret, trigger responses, and communicate with any other third-party system, being it legacy or any currently state-of-the-art technology, to perform repetitive tasks. One advantage of, or one thing that is good about the RPA robots is that it never sleeps and almost never makes a mistake. So these are some of the things that it can do. You can log into an application, being it an ERP, as in an enterprise resource planner, or a software as a product solutions. It can move files, it can move folders, as in copy and paste. It can scrap data from websites and native applications. It can extract content from documents such as PDFs, emails, and forms. These RPA robots are also able to open emails and attachments, perform basic to complex calculations, and it's also able to read and or write databases, either directly or using APIs. So there are some myths and some realities about RPA. If you don't mind, I'll allow Mercy to speak on the myths versus the realities of RPA, please. Mercy, over to you if you can hear us.
Yes, certainly I can. Interesting you asked me to take this slide because it's been a journey, right? It has been a journey. And I'm delighted, particularly with this opportunity to come to all of you. Right, so my passion for RPA is practically what it has to offer, right? However, having said that, it more or less appears sometimes to be a threat for a lot of our team members, unfortunately. But the benefit of RPA is just phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. So, question is that is RPA able actually to replace the workforce or not? Is it able to replace the workforce or not? I honestly do not think so, because what RPA seeks to do is just to take away the mundane activities, the repetitive activities, which really, in the scheme of things, you really are not meant to go to school to just do mundane activities. Let the bot do that. You do the thinking, I always say. So certainly it doesn't replace the workforce. It just makes the workforce more effective and deliver more intuitive and iterative ideas, which then brings transformation to the organizations within which we operate. So it doesn't replace the workforce. That's the first myth. It doesn't. So discard that. Discard that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Calvin, do you have anything to share on this myths of RPA? You have deployed over 100 bots in Safaricom, Kenya, on the myths. People think that RPA is yet to replace human beings, and also some people say that everything can be automated. Is that the case? Is everything automatable? Every single task that a human being can perform or has been performing automatable?
Yes, thank you, Akpeko, for the introduction. One of the myths that we face through the RPA journey is that we can automate everything. The truth is, not everything that can be really automated, but things, applications that need a lot of that take a lot of what we'd call time for human beings, but they are the same. For example, to the same, put the data, it will remain the same for the rest of the journey. You don't need to, it doesn't need to a lot of thinking. It's just the same. Nothing is changing. That is what is the perfect candidate for RPA. So not everything that will be automated, but things that don't change, that they are always the same, are the best to be automated using RPA. Yes.
Thank you very much, Calvin. What about the costs? Considering that most of the things that RPA or UiPath, for example, uses sits on the current IT infrastructure, what do you have anything to say about the cost involved in rolling out RPA solutions?
The truth is there is the initial cost, but if you distribute it to there's a not, I wouldn't say it's a huge cost, initial cost, but if you compare to the return on investment that we are gaining from RPA, you find that it's very marginal. Bearing in mind, for example, a task that will take let's say 5 engineers to do, a bot can take that into a single bot can take that in 24 hours. For example, a human being will need to take breaks in between. You see, that's in terms of capital, that's wasted. That's capital wasted during the resting hours. But the bot will be able to take that without even a break and without any error. So I'd say, yes, there is initial cost, but if you distribute it throughout the lifespan, it is a very marginal cost.
Thank you very much, Calvin, for that.
Also, sorry, I didn't say that you don't need a lot of, let's say, a lot of infrastructure, because whatever you have already in your company is what RPA will ride on. You don't need new machines. You don't need new servers. Whatever you have is what you're going to use.
Okay, so what you're saying is that, yeah. Okay, Messi, please.
So if I may add, recently we just are working on one bot which takes on an activity that typically the team would have had to stay awake very late at night and get it done. But, like Ziga said, the bot doesn't sleep. That's the advantage. And then your workforce also then have a work-life balance as well. So the benefits are numerous compared to the cost and the scalability of the service itself. I think it's a brilliant solution that everyone must latch on. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Messi. Talking about the benefits, we'd like to go a bit more deeper into the benefits of RPA, please, Messi.
Certainly. Thank you, Ziga, for the opportunity. So increased execution speed. So the journey started in Vodafone Ghana when, of course, I introduced the UiPath link to the team. And of course, Ziga Akeko took up the challenge. And today he's an evangelist. Praise the Lord, as I say. All right. So the increased speed, what we had, which was a pain for our back office team, had to do with a volume of requests coming to update customer KYCs. All we did was had to put RPA on it, and voila, about 20K volume that was coming in, daily, just got done by the bot within, less than a minute. And I would have had to put headcount on the same, volume, get it cleared on a daily basis. So increased speed to execution, what would probably take a human being maybe an hour or more, even a day, the bot can just process, in a matter of minutes. Of course, without errors, as you can see, because as long as you have human hands involved, you would be prone to some errors. With a bot, as long as you give it what it has to do, it just moves in that space. As long as the rules are clearly defined, it simply follows. And the good thing is that it can read. So whatever it is that is on the system, it just reads and reproduces according to the design that you allow it to do. Do you want me to go on? Or should I pause?
I think Calvin also has some benefits having deployed those 100 bots. And Calvin, how has it been? How's the impact?
I would say enormous, man. For example, the reason actually, the major reason that we came up with RPA, I would say is, for example, I went on leave for less than a week. And when I came back, I had around 1,000 unread mails. Just imagine going through all the 1,000 mails, trying to shift and see which one you need to respond to, which one you need to discard. That's how actually RPA was introduced to Safaricom, because I don't know, I hope you can hear me. I can see my network is unstable.
Yes, yes. Calvin, we can hear you clear.
Okay, okay. So I'm back. I have 1,000 mails. If you take that into consideration, the number of days you've been on leave, you'll take the same number of days to read all those mails. So I'd say one of the major benefits was turnaround time. You just click a button, and within less than 5 minutes, all the 1,000 mails are shifted into different groups. You respond the one you need to respond to. You discard the one you don't need. And also the accuracy at which it was able to do. Actually, through the 100 and something bots that we currently have in deployment, I would say our accuracy has been consistently between 90 to 95%, which is I'd say great. Bearing in mind that we human beings, we are prone to making some mistakes that we may call silly, and that are so obvious. So I'd say those are some of the benefits that we have been able to fish out from the RPA processes.
Wow, thank you so much, Calvin. Has it some more? You had something. You wanted to say something, some more things on the benefits.
Yes, I particularly like the one around the regulatory, where you made mention of, and as telcos, we are mandated to communicate to our customers in the event that we have any incidents. And thankfully, with RPA, again, the human being would have had to wake up probably at the middle of the night to send a notification to customers because we have an incident, can rest peacefully and have, again, balance, work-life balance. And the bot simply does the work. So in terms of, a compliance with regulatory requirements, if there's an incident on the network, the bot just picks the triggers and then communicates to the customers via SMS or whichever channel you may so please. And of course, in doing so, you again build a more robust organization, an organization that is not dependent on whether someone is awake or somebody is sleeping, because the bot is doing the work for you. And then the human being again can focus on the brain work, right? And get the organization moving. Thanks.
Wonderful. Calvin, can you speak a bit about the non-intrusive nature of UiPath?
Yes, what I would say is, you see, with RPA, you don't go to the back of I would say, the code. It actually, I would say, works on the front end. Whatever human being sees on the screen is what also the bot works on. For example, I don't need to go behind on the underlying code for the bot to execute something. It will be on the screen. It will be, for example, let's say a human being was supposed to type a password. That's what the bot will do. It will type a password. So at that point, it's not doing something fishy that you can't be able to see. It's something that you can be able to validate what happened and who did it. You can be able to see, for example, the credentials are being used by the bot. You can be able to audit whatever it's doing, and you'll be able to see, because the intrusiveness comes whereby you're not able to tell what is happening on the background. But using RPA, you'll be able to see, this is what is happening. Okay, after that, we expected to click on the certain button. That's what is exactly happening. And through that, I'd say you'll be able to eliminate the fear of there's something that is working for us on the background that we don't know what is happening. And you can be able to say that that is one of the strongest points for RPA.
Thank you so much, Calvin, for clarifying that. I believe it will put a lot of minds to rest, because sometimes people get a bit uncomfortable when they get to know that a bot is doing something within their space. But from what you have explained, like it's a bot, but whatever it is doing, there is that level of transparency for you to see and know what is happening when. Transparency and attribution is quite key in this. All right. Jonathan, would you like to take us through the factors that necessitate automation potentials within businesses and settings?
Sure. So probably before I even jump into it, probably I'll just give some quick stats on especially what's happening around Ghana and some of the surveys that have been done. So for starters, I'll just give a mention on the McKinsey survey that was done last year. And it's saying that the automation potential in Ghana specifically is around 51%, meaning that 6.4 million employees and 6.4 million jobs can be created and can be automated. So from the audience that we have, just look at some of the key things that you normally do on a day-to-day basis. For example, if it's to log into a particular system, download a particular report, analyze that particular report, all that can be automated, and it can free you from all that mood and repetitive tasks, and it can give you the ability to do tasks that are meaningful. So these involve tasks that will be able to use your creativity and I remember what Christina was mentioning, creating a robot for each and every person. So that's one. Another key survey that was done, it was done by Deloitte 2020. And this survey was done for the C-suite. This is the executive level, whereby most of them responded and said that there is 74%. They have already started implementing robotic process automation. And the other ones say that in the next 2 or 3 years, they are going to start the same. This has been brought about mainly because of the COVID situation where guys are working remotely and the business have to think around their business model. So there's a lot of things that are currently happening, and I'm very glad that we have the Accra chapter here so that you can be able also to build on that. So going back to some of the factors that are driving automation potential. So the first key one is around rule-based. So you notice that most of these particular tasks that you're going to be performing or you're going to be automating, they have a sequential approach. There's the way you normally approach it. So some of them have make a checker, or for example, if it's on a particular report that you normally log into, you're supposed to log into that particular system, download. So there's specific processes and the specific tasks that need to be performed for you to be able to undertake that particular one. If there's a question, probably you can leave it on chat and see some background. So the next bit is just to give clarity on the different type of process. So there are some which are manual and repetitive, whereby it's completely manual. It can take a particular person several number of hours for them to achieve that one process end to end. Some are semi-manual and repetitive. Semi-manual meaning that you have a system at the back end that's supporting it, but it's still repetitive, whereby still you have to have a human at the tail end to either do present validation, just to be able to confirm all that particular data. The other bit is on digitize the process. So this is whereby you can be able to quickly and carry it out, let's say 90% digital without the manual interventions in between. And then we have the automated. This is more of a fully automated process whereby it can be done probably at a click of a button. This is what we call straight-through processing in most of the companies, or real-time resolution. So those are the different types that we have in terms of processes. The next bit is on input. So when you're looking at a particular process that can be automated, some of the key thing you also have to understand is what is the structure of that particular input? Is it structured? If it's you're pulling it probably from a Word document or from a website, how is the structure of that particular data? Is it column row column? So that's another aspect that you need to consider. So you can probably move to the next slide, or I'll pause there for questions and clarifications. So this just gives a brief snapshot on what I was giving a mention on. So these are the main key things that you look at when you're looking for a process to automate. It has to be repetitive, whereby a person is doing it on a day-to-day basis. Rule-based is whereby you're saying it's following a particular, same case to structure, it's following a particular process for you to achieve it. If it's make a checker, one person does this, moves to another person, the other person probably loads a particular document or uploads it to a particular system. So that's the rule-based as well as the structure in that particular process. So this is the three main components when you're looking for in a process that you like to automate. Back to you, Leko, and also if there's any question, feel free to leave on the chat. Some of us will assist you with those ones.
Jonathan, I'm sure that a lot of people will be much more interested in identifying or in getting the techniques in identifying automation potential. I'm sure the questions will start coming soon, and so just be on the side for it. Talk about that. Can you please also take us through the RPA use cases in a typical organization?
Yes, I really like what Kelvin mentioned when he was saying that it's non-invasive, whereby it can, assuming you have some legacy system that you're currently working on, and you can imagine for you to just go and just do a simple integration to one particular system is very time-consuming. So the beauty about RPA and in particular UiPath is that it can be able to integrate at a click of a button, plug and play in most of the systems and the tools that we currently use. So for example, in the finance sector, you can be able to quickly, if you're in finance and your day-to-day job involves probably reconciliation, probably you're processing payrolls, you're processing reports, you can be able to clearly automate that particular process. If you're, for example, also in HR, what you normally do is screening, CV screening, the next bit is prep, maybe payroll onboarding someone or issuing out and onboarding and offboarding a particular employee in your department. That's something that also be able to quickly automate using RPA. Another bit is something that I've personally seen in my organization is accounting, whereby our biggest challenge, I'm coming from a banking sector, and our biggest challenge was reconciliation. So each and every day we had to have two guys, one in the daytime and another person in the evening, just to come in and ensure that all our books have been reconciled and we are at par with the regulatory compliance across the banking sector. So this is something that we have been able to quickly automate, and we're having this done at we're having this done and being resolved at a very timely situation. And if you're having exceptions, you can be able to pick it up. If you're in IT, one of the key things that you normally have everyone having a sleepless night is just to ensure that your systems, your servers are up and running. You can have a bot to monitor for you, and if there's any exemption, it can be able to quickly send you, for example, an email, or it can be able to do like a refresh, error handling, exceptional process. That's something else you can pick. Same case, if you're in contact center and one of the key things is inbound and outbound calls, you can be able to automate, for example, that first bit whereby you're having the VCR run for you. And also, if you want to schedule an appointment with a particular customer, and we tried using recently, what we're trying to do is to automate the journey whereby a customer comes in and purchases one of our products, and you need to do a quick NPS survey. So we are using a bot to immediately you buy one of our products, we quickly send you a survey, and you can be able to respond, and you can be able to build and use that data for business decision. And back end for guys who are in operations, key thing for them is reporting, supporting in terms of order creation and updating. So all of these are some of the key things that you can be able to automate with RPA. Then the list is limitless. I believe there's so much more. If you're also in the hotel and industry services, one of the key things that I've seen is the use of chatbot to book a particular hotel. So the list is immense. So yes. Back to you, Deko, and probably some of the panelists, they like to chip in their feet to jump into it.
Okay, but where can you start? Where do you think, where is it that you have to start RPA or automations from a particular team, or you can start from wherever you are? For that, in our case, for Vodafone Ghana per se, RPA started from digital transformation and commercial operations. But at the time, we were actually, or I was actually at commercial operations, but not in a typical digital transformation team or the typical IT team. So I think you can start anywhere, wherever you are. In fact, wherever you are now is the right place for you to start thinking about process reengineering, automations, and systems simplification. It can be EBU, enterprise business units, can be central business units, can be operations. You can also be finance, from experience center, supply chain, legal, human resources, external affairs, and all of them. You can start automations, processes, or projects from wherever you are.
Adding to that, Peko, before even Jonathan picks up, I would say you need to start with the interest. Are you interested in RPA? Then pick it up from that.
Yes. And on that, Jonathan, can you please paste the link for us to see those who are in there now, and then their level of RPA enthusiasm or expertise, and see, so we can know how best we can assist them in the chat?
Sure. So if I can just share my screen for a second so that I can get them on what they need to do.
So while Jonathan, you were on it, Kelvin, it's interesting that you make mention of whether the interest is there or not, because I mean, at the time in the team, when we picked up this conversation, it was to a vast number of people I was having a conversation with, but the interest was shown by Ziga, you call him Apeko, yes. So he picked that interest up and drove it forward. So the interest is very key. And it's not complicated. That's a good thing about RPA. It is not complicated at all. So once you go into it, and study it for yourself, and he actually just self-studied, right? And he came up with all the solutions. And it was one challenge after another. And today here. So it's really about the interest and how far you can travel with the interest. Yeah, thanks.
Welcome, Messi.
That's correct. So guys, this is just to help probably the team to understand where you fall, so that, for example, probably in the future session that you're going to be running, we can be able to know if you're doing a training, where should we mainly focus. So I'll just request that from your laptop or from your cell phone, you can just quickly type www.menti.com. Just place it here. And you can use this as the code. So once you do that, you'll be able to open this and you can quickly respond where you are. So for example, you have never interacted with any platform in RPA. You do not know anything about RPA. So this is just a quick snapshot for us so that you can know that, yes, I can see guys have started responding, so that you can know where we can place you. And even the future sessions, you can be able to know that this is where we are supposed to start. Very good. I can see guys, yeah. You can see where guys are, and we can be able to create trainings across that. You can see we have around 6 guys who have responded. So I'll just 2 seconds, then you can move. You have someone at advanced. 1 second. One more, then I switch screen. There we go. Okay, so quickly, also because I can see guys have responded. Nice. So what I can quickly tell for Ghana is intermediate and someone who has never interacted. And I can see most of them have either interacted with the platform. So just to quickly also understand, I'll throw this other one. So let me just clearly understand which platform have you interacted with previously. For guys who have not interacted, you can just leave this blank. And for guys who have said they have interacted, let's just know which platform is it, which one you did interact with. Okay, you can see UiPath. UiPath again. Nice. Interesting. Another one. Nice. None. Nice. Some of the competitors, nice. Okay, so this can give us a quick glance on where we can place some of the guys here on the court, and you can definitely use this data. I'll leave this open as we proceed. I'll leave this open, so if you still have some additional that you think you can add onto it, you can quickly just add onto it. But I'll leave this open as we proceed. Then I'll share this data with the chapter leader so that you can be able to know where we can start. But I can see we have a mixture, so this team is well placed. So back to you. Stop.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let me bring my screen back so we can proceed.
So I think Kelvin will be able to answer your question on if guys are interested.
Yeah, I can see that almost a lot of people are interested, judging from the feedback that most of them has interacted with UiPath, Blue Prism, Google, Microsoft, and all that. I can see the interest is there. Okay. So these are some of the careers that you can find yourself in. And most of these careers listed here are a bit deep level. There are several other careers in RPA, but for the future, and if you want to bury yourself neck deep into RPA, you can look at becoming an RPA developer. You can look at becoming an RPA citizen developer, which is a very interesting role or learning journey where you are not actually a full-time developer, but you are kind of an automation champion within your team. You can become an RPA solution architect, an infrastructure engineer. Business analysts are also very much in demand. Implementation managers, COE managers. COE stands for Center of Excellence, RPA Center of Excellence managers. You can also become a Center of Excellence support specialist, a quality assurance tester, IT automation specialist, or a typical RPA trainer. The list I said is endless. So, Calvin would like to tell us, sorry, Jonathan, what is the best resource for people who want to dive into it deeper?
Good question. So I'll probably just give a mention on my journey, just to give an understanding. So same case, I started as zero. I had zero knowledge, zero prior knowledge on RPA. But one of the key things that has been able to help me build my knowledge and build my muscles around it is mainly on the community.uipath.com. So there is a forum where I was able to interact with some of the MVPs, some of the guys who are into RPA. They were able to give me a glance on what they are doing. I found some of the tasks that they are doing, they are very challenging, and some of them are very enticing. So that's where I started. So when I was able to interact with them, they referred me to, same case which I'm going to refer, they referred me to academy.uipath.com. So that's where you can be able to quickly test for yourself. So you'll get a chance to see the learning, see how you are going to download, for example, UiPath itself, and how you can be able to do those simple, basic bots for yourself. So when we started that, then we started building a forum around it, and we started to couple up with some of the guys. When we started to do challenging, we started to do challenges across board. So for example, if there's a challenge, let's say in India, we can couple up as guys from Ghana or as guys from Kenya. Then we go and try and see if you can be able to win. So that's how we have been able to build our muscles around it. But mainly I can say is through Academy, and next bit is through the forums. You can be able to quickly be able to build on the same. So probably if Kelvin, I'm sure he can also be able to comment. Jonathan, can you kindly post the links to this platform? Sure. I can see that the chapter leader has posted some of them, but I'll repeat them as we proceed. If you have additional questions, please leave them on the chat box. Kelvin, how was it? How did you get, assuming same case, let me just even ask on behalf of everyone. So Kelvin, you're saying that Safaricom implemented UiPath, and I believe probably most of you guys or some of you guys lacked any prior knowledge on UiPath. So how are you, and for your team, how are you able to quickly be able to build your muscles around it and become who you are now as more of a developer around it? Kelvin?
Thank you, Jonathan. I would say our path is almost similar. We used the academy. On top of that, there's actually an official, I think, UiPath group on YouTube where you can find videos for that. Maybe I'll share the link. And also there are guys, I would say, is it from Australia, who are also in UiPath, who also do trainings on that. That's where mostly we got the information from. And also, there's a lot of material online on the community on the community platform that you can be able to post your questions and you get your answers within a very short time. And I would say UiPath community I've seen is one of the best communities where anyone will post a question, and within a few minutes you get a response and a solution to your problems. And also through peers. I would say, for example, in around in Kenya, you'd say there are several guys who would say I would say they are in advanced levels. You can be able to get in touch with them. And also, I believe, for example, in Ghana right now, I believe through what Akpeko is doing, there are guys. Even he's one of them. I'm sure some of the questions that he has, I can tell you, is not even in intermediate, is in advanced level. He has the knowledge that he can be able to share with other people and form a community on its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calvin, that's true. So that is the main import, one of the main imports of forming the community here in Accra. Because when I started out, I didn't know anybody from Accra or Ghana doing RPA. And so I have to fall upon the structures of Vodafone. And fortunately, I got referred to you. I was blessed because I had you in time to take me out of all the difficult corners. And so this community coming together is one of the reasons.
And also keep me awake at night due to the time differences.
Yes. I remember sometimes we could be working very deep into the night because of the time zone differences. But it's all cool. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm very grateful about that. And so, Tim, I'll open the floor now for questions, interactions, interrogations, or whatever you want to clear out of your mind on RPA. This is the right platform, please. You can just unmute and then ask your questions, or you can simply type them in the chat session and it will be addressed. Kevin, I want to find out something from you. Said when you started out at first, the fever hasn't caught up with the rest of the team yet. And so you had a little tough time at the beginning, but it got to a point where you have to actively reject some people's projects because they were becoming so many that the team could not even withstand it. Can you share some light on that, please?
Sorry, the question was addressed to me. At some point,
yes,
I lost
please.
you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You know, when I met you first, you have deployed around 10 to 20 bots yet. And you got to a time that, and you said, so I asked you, how did you do it from the very beginning? You said, at the beginning, it was tough. Then along the line, it was too much to even do. How did it go?
Let me first start by saying there's something that Mercy said on the maids, that RPA is here to replace the human workforce. That was the greatest barrier to deployment of RPA in Safaricom. because everybody was like, I'm going to give you my process, yes, and in the next few months or days, I'll be replaced by a robot. Where do I go? I'll go home. Then what? So I had to go around it through the benefits, showing the company that showing the company and the employees that what you're trying to do is not to replace anybody. It's to augment what you're doing. For example, I believe no one went to the university for, let's say, 5 years to do an engineering course to come and do data entry. Why don't you leave that to the bot? And you do something that is intriguing and that will challenge your mind. So by showing them the benefits and trying to educate them on what RPA is, it made it a little bit easier for deployment of RPA. Right now, I can tell you in a week we get more than 100 plans, automation journeys. Some of them we have actually to reject and say our hands are full, because if we put all of them into a calendar, it will take us more than 5 years to finish the whole everything. So I'd say first is evangelize exactly what you are doing. Educate people on what robotic process automation is. I'd say the biggest barrier is a myth, and that is you are replacing the human workforce, which is not true. And once you're able to evangelize that, I think it will be a very smooth journey and show guys, you don't need to start with the biggest project. I can assure you that with the biggest project, you not succeed, because it will take a lot of time to show guys the results. There's something we call the low-hanging fruits. Start with that small project that you can show tangibly what are the benefits, and guys will start appreciating it. Let the people own the processes. Yes, someone is saying something. Okay, yes, as I was saying, I'd say start with the low-hanging fruits. That small project, that small process that will take less than 5 minutes, but the benefits will be enormous, and guys will start warming to it. You can trust me, in less than a year, you will have your hands full. You'll not even be able to handle the number of processes that will be coming on your way. And that is actually what we used to evangelize RPA in Safaricom. Back
probably
to you,
just
All right,
okay.
thank you so much.
You probably just to add, you mentioned something very enticing. Start with the low-hanging fruits. So probably we have guys here who are not in the IT, or for example, you have someone in finance, or you have someone in, let's say, in operations, and you do not have that ability to influence decision and the implementation of RPA at a senior level. So like what Kelvin has said, you can start from your own, where you sit and where you are. You can identify some of the processes that you normally do, some of the tasks that you normally do, and try and see, for example, how you can automate the most basic. Example, if it's an email automation, how can you be able to automate that? So that can be able to, like, once you see the benefit for you, how it has worked for you, then you can scale it out across probably to your peers. See, this is something that I was able to do, and now I'm not doing that. It's being handled by a bot. Then that's how you can be able to build around the conversation around it, and hopefully you can be able to reach to the senior team. So I can see there's a question. So on average, questions are streaming in. So on average, how long would it take to get an intermediary level specialist with regarding to trainings and courses for someone who is new to it? So before I get for responses on this one, so what I can just quickly say is that it's self-paced, whereby it depends on personally how quick you are. So you notice that most of the sessions and most of the trainings, if it's from a chapter to chapter, you notice most of them are recorded. You can be able to play back at your own free time and just recap some of the things that you are taught, and you can be able to build your masses around them. Same case from the online academy.uipath.com. You can be able to pace yourself. You can start probably, we recommend that you start from a beginner. If you are fairly and completely new to it, you start from the beginner so that you can just understand the look and feel of the platform. What does this mean? What does this mean? But I can guarantee you for free that it's easy to use. You do not have to have coding background. You do not have to have all those IT specific skill sets around it. Yeah. I'll give someone else to respond.
Yes. So, in between 6 weeks to 12 weeks, you can actually, when you commit, say, 15 hours to it for the learning part. And as for the practice, it's all dependent upon you and how fast you want to grow. But then the standard cost to become an intermediate developer is less than 20 hours of study, both on the academy. So the good news is that even here, Louisa, I'm answering this directly because I know you are my colleague, my senior here. So there are learning materials both on the UiPath official academy, but Vodafone also has UiPath, a very good UiPath training on LinkedIn Learning. You can explore any of them. They are all very good to use. I think that one is even 6 hours in all, from basic to advanced. Yes, so the slide will be made available. The recording too will be made available for review after the recording. Oh, so forgive me. The conversation is just getting so interesting that we've even gone past 3 minutes past our stipulated time. If there are no more questions, is there any question that we are skipping?
There are some questions on the chat. There are some questions I can see from Jonathan, Kedrick. You can go through them quickly before we end.
Okay, let me try and see how many we can go through before we end the session. Someone asked whether we can mentor them. Of course, that's one of the main reasons for forming the chapter. I have left my contact here, but I advise that you join. Then when you join the chapter, you can send message, you can interact on the chapter, and whatever need you have, questions, guidance, it will be provided there.
There's a question I've seen, Ziga, from Ezekiel. May I know which platform RPA can be implemented? I don't know. Do you mean the operating system? If so, it rides on Microsoft at the moment. That is Windows. Although you can go through a VDI if you're using an Windows operating system.
Sure, that is true. Yeah. That's correct. All right, Messi, would you like to give us some final words before we bring the meeting to a close, please?
Certainly, I think for everyone who's joined on this call, sincere apologies, you've gone over five minutes, but I can assure you this is a platform that you can actually take advantage of and discover what you probably didn't know, or make your life much easier in what you've been doing. You've been expressing a lot of effort on what you do today. And like we've already said, it's not limited to a particular role. It's just finding first the low-hanging fruits, easy things, mundane things that you do, trying your hands on the learning path. The links have been shared on the chat. And then you move from one stage to the other. And thankfully, the chapter is available also to give you all the support. Ziga has put his contact on the chat. Do take advantage of it. And I know you'll be glad you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Messi. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for making time for us to join UiPath Accra chapter. We are very blessed to have all of you open this chapter for us today. We hope that we'll call upon you so many other times. This is just the introduction, and there'll be many more programs organized, and we will need you more. Please, when we phone on you next time, open your doors to us just as you did this time around. We are very grateful. And to the participants, I am so happy that you're able to join and see you in the community. If you have any questions, you need to link up with someone, you can just drop your link in Again, now I'll leave the chat open for meeting, even as we have closed, so you can network very much. Messi is on LinkedIn, Kelvin and Jonathan, they are all on LinkedIn. You can professionally connect with any of them. They would love to help you out in whatever you need. On this note, may I bring this meeting to a close for the day, and thank you once again for joining. Have a nice evening, morning, or afternoon from wherever you're connecting to us from. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you and bye.